What's up everybody, and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 2025 Honda CR-V EXL alongside the 2025 Toyota Rav4 XLE. Both of these are non-hybrids for $38,000. Big shout out to Flow Honda and Flow Toyota of Statesville for providing both of these crossovers. For today's video, let's get into these two super popular crossovers, see which one is the better choice. Taking a look underneath the hood, on the 2025 Toyota Rav4, you're gonna get a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder naturally aspirated motor, pumping out 203 horsepower with 184 pound-feet of torque. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission. Curb weight is around 3,500 pounds. It has a 14.5 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 27 miles per gallon in the city with 35 out on the highway. Over on the Honda CR-V, this one has a 1.5 liter inline 4-cylinder but turbocharged motor. This pumps out 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque. We have a curb weight around 3,500 pounds. It has a 14 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 28 miles per gallon in the city with 34 out on the highway, and the CR-V has a CVT transmission. Moving on to styling, the CR-V is finished in urban gray, while we have magnetic gray on the Toyota Rav4. Both of these do have a pretty good style overall. You're going to get LED headlights on the Rav4, super bold upper grille with a lot of body color, got a little bit of the plastic material in the lower bumper as well. And then for the Honda CR-V, once again, nice design for the headlights, daytime running lights, a little bit of chrome trim throughout it with gloss black in the upper grille, and then just a little bit of plastic black down below. We're gonna get parking sensors on the front of the Honda CR-V. Honestly, both look pretty sharp. Got nice side profiles as well, with a nice set of 18-inch wheels finished in silver for the Honda. Sharp body line throughout the side profile, black trim throughout those windows with a little bit of extra chrome trim. On the Toyota, there's a little bit of chrome trim too. Nice set of silver wheels. Very cool design with the multi-spoke look. Just a little bit of the plastic black material around the fender arches, and then nice body lines throughout it. I don't really think either car is a winner or a loser in style. They both look pretty good for what they're trying to be. Just a nice, normal, family, smaller crossover. Got a little bit more plastic black on the rear bumper in the Toyota, but still a pretty aggressive design with sharp body lines throughout it. A little bit more tame on the Honda, and yet it still is nice, sharp, and sporty. So really, both of them very, very similar styles overall. Now sitting inside the 2025 Toyota Rav4, this interior is finished off nicely in black. You're gonna get a little bit of contrast stitching and silver trim. The seating surfaces are made out of Softex, which is a synthetic leather. It is pretty nice and durable, really can't complain. Along the door panel, you can see your controls, a nice padded armrest and storage. You have extra storage on the dashboard, multimedia screen right in the center, very simple like all other Toyotas. Not really all too fancy overall, but you have some of the good basic information you're able to take a look at. For the backup camera, you got a pretty HD view as well. You can configure it slightly for a wider angle. And we have air vents down below, all of your climate controls. We have dual zone temperature, physical buttons throughout it, heated seats, we have traction control, auto start stop, a little bit of storage down below as well, and then different drive modes. Storage down below, nice padded armrest, and then a black leather wrapped steering wheel with all of your controls. For the gauge cluster, we have analog and digital screen. You can scroll left and right, see a few different bits of information that's going to pop up, some safety information as well. Then you have your eco, you can see a few more things like that. So overall, really can't complain. This is a nice looking interior. Got your controls over on this side. We even have memory seating controls, storage down below, heated steering wheel, power liftgate. And then up above, of course, your mirror, dome lights, and a nice sunroof. And then now inside the 2025 Honda CR-V. So this one also finished in nice black interior. We have a little bit of gloss black trim throughout it. Now this does have leather trimmed seats. So you're gonna see the nice genuine materials, some contrast stitching to a really nice material. You can see the trim on the door, padded armrest with storage. I do like the air vents. They have a pretty cool mesh design to them all throughout it. And then for the multimedia screen, I think this is a little bit nicer of a screen, a little bit easier to go through with more information. We have some physical controls on the left, shortcuts down below. And then when you go into reverse, once again, nice HD backup camera, along with a couple different views. Got your air vents in the center, physical climate controls you can see with heated seats. We have plugs, wireless phone charging, your shifter, along with different drive modes. Cup holders in the center, padded armrest, and a nice leather wrapped steering wheel. Now once again, we have digital and analog for the center screen. you can scroll through a few different things. On the left side, you can go into the trip reset. You have the home icon where you can go through many other items. So pretty similar overall. On the left side, we got the power liftgate button, and then there is memory seating as well. Not a bad design. We have a simple mirror, your dome lights, a sunroof just like in the Toyota. So overall, pretty similar. Moving on to the back seat with the Toyota Rav4. So I am 5'11" with the driver's seat at my height. I have good legroom and knee room. There are air vents down below. There's extra plugs, storage behind the passenger seat. The seat is at a pretty good recline. I'm really nice and comfortable here. Good padding, good armrest, quite a lot of glass let in. This can seat 3 people. And in the center, you can pull this down. You have a nice armrest along with extra cup holders. So pretty good design overall. On the left side, we can recline these seats just a little bit. And honestly, this is really comfortable. I really wouldn't mind being in a long trip here. You got basically all the amenities and comfort and good enough space for the family. Car seats should fit fine back here too. So really can't complain in the Rav4. On to the Honda CR-V. So first thing I noticed, I am sitting a little bit higher in the seat. It's still nice and padded, got a lot of good squish to it. However, I am noticeably higher up above the driver's seat. Still have really good legroom and footroom. You're gonna have air vents, 2 plugs, storage on this side as well. Of course, this is a 3-person bench seat. In the center, once again, you can pull this down. You have armrests and cup holders. And then overall, the backrest is pretty comfortable. You can recline it too. So moving this back quite a lot. I feel like this definitely reclines just a little bit farther. Still got quite a lot of glass let in here and then nice armrests as well. Very, very similar. I think just, I like the bases a little better, how they're sitting lower in the Toyota. However, this has more of a recline. So kind of a toss up between the two. Now it's also worth mentioning the Honda CR-V does get a power operated passenger seat while the Toyota RAV4 is manual. Now, they also have 106-inch wheelbases, so they're within an inch of each other. As far as cargo volume goes, on the Toyota RAV4, you're gonna get 37.5 cubic feet of space with the seats up, and on the Honda CR-V, you're looking closer to 39.3. So just slightly larger in the CR-V. With the seats folded down, you're looking at 76.5 in the Honda and 69.8 over in the Toyota. Nonetheless, still pretty roomy in here, nice and squared off. Underneath the floor mat, we can lift up the floor and you do have a spare tire. You got a cubby on the one side. You can also pull this privacy cover down, and from back here, we can easily grab these and get these seats nice and folded flat to maximize cargo. So there's a good look at everything nice and opened up. Seats fold nice and flat, no crazy bump or anything. For the Honda CR-V, this one has a little bit lower load floor, so there might be an extra piece you can put in here. And then underneath the floor, you also are gonna get a spare tire. Got a cubby on each side, power outlet, and then you can easily grab these levers and push them down. Now this one is gonna have a pretty large bump into it, so not quite as flat, but nonetheless, a little bit extra space over in the Honda. So setting off now in the Toyota RAV4. So far these cars are really, really similar. Biggest thing that we are gonna notice is we have a big naturally aspirated 4-cylinder with an 8-speed versus a small turbocharged 4-cylinder with a CVT. Both cars you can get front wheel drive or all wheel drive. And obviously pricing is pretty much spot on. So driving dynamics might be the make or break for which one is gonna be the perfect crossover. So getting up to speed, just keeping it under 4. You can definitely tell it's a naturally aspirated engine. There's no real download torque or anything like that. You just have to let the engine do its thing or rev it up a little bit to get going. The steering feel is quite nice and light. This one's front wheel drive, so we're getting a little bit of weight as you take a turn. So obviously if this was all wheel drive, it might be a little better steering feel, but normal driving, really not too bad. I wish I could get this seat a little bit lower. I can't quite sink down into this as much as I would like for my particular proportions. However, overall visibility is pretty good in it. You have a good view over the front, and all the windows are pretty large to have no complaints looking over your left and right shoulder. Normal acceleration, really not bad. It's certainly not a fast car, but if you really want to get up to speed, highway speeds or something like that, you're gonna have to punch it and probably get close to red line. So you're definitely gonna have to use this engine for its entire rev band, given there's no forced induction. So overall driving seems pretty comfortable and quiet. The suspension absorbs bumps. Feels pretty solid and pretty stable. It's a well-built car. Obviously Toyota, they make good cars. So it feels like a nice place to be using the technology while driving. I do like how the climate is set up. These buttons are a little on the small side, but the knobs are really easy to grab. I like that design. The screen, I'm not the biggest fan of. I think it's a little simple. I wouldn't mind just maybe different tiles on it. So screen's all right. You don't really feel the transmission shift either. So it's a decently smooth transmission. You just hear the engine quite a bit. If we go into eco mode, basically throttle response definitely tones down quite a lot. And then sport mode will sharpen it up just a little bit. So in eco mode, we'll get up to speed, feel that one out. Definitely have to put a lot more throttle. And then it kind of downshifts and floors it. Sport mode is a little bit more aggressive on the throttle. So I'd say ending thoughts with driving in the RAV4, it doesn't feel necessarily refined. You know, you definitely have to drive it to get it moving. However, it's comfortable enough, has the tech, has the features, has a good layout, and I'd say good materials for the interior. While everything is a synthetic material, it looks good, it wears well over time. Really no drastic complaints aside from I just wish I could sink more into it, and given the naturally aspirated characteristics of the engine, I know that I'm gonna have to use the engine more and it's gonna be a little bit less refined when you're trying to drive it more aggressive. Moving on to the Honda CR-V. So seating position, I do prefer in this. I feel like I'm able to sink a little bit lower. I have a little bit more maneuverability to the actual seat. So I do prefer that a little better. I do like the shifter on this. This little unlock lever is a little bit easier to grab than on the Toyota. I feel like you have to kind of find it. With that said, getting up to speed, we got the turbo and a CVT. So with that, slow acceleration, the horsepower and torque numbers are similar between the two cars. You can definitely feel the turbo power down low in this to where I didn't even have to think about hitting 4,000 RPM, and we're getting similar power to what the Toyota is going to do in a higher rev range. So I do like that aspect of a turbo engine in something like this. It makes the power feel a little bit less stressful. However, we have a CVT, so when you are going to be flooring this, like really getting onto the highway, you're going to get that kind of whiny transmission feel that I'm not really the biggest fan of. So then getting back up to speed once again. Yeah, once you get to above 4,000, that's when you kind of get that whiny CVT to where it almost feels like a slipping clutch. I've noticed that with CVTs in the high RPM. It's not really a desirable feeling. A lot of people are not a fan of a CVT. However, with that said, ride quality feels pretty good. It's same in quietness. You know, we're only going about 45 on a decent road, so get a good idea of the sounds. I think these seats do feel a little bit stiffer. They're not quite as squishy as the Toyotas, so while I get a better seating position in this, I'm not really like as soft on the seat surface themselves. So that's kind of a trade-off between the two. That's a toss-up on which one you would prefer. With that, I feel like maybe ride quality is slightly harsher in this. However, I think the overall power delivery does feel a little bit more refined. Now this particular one is all-wheel drive, so far I'm not really feeling anything weird in the steering. It feels a little bit more linear, just a nice smooth steering feel, good even weight, regardless of how tight you're turning it. Slow acceleration, it gets up to speed nicely without really stressing the engine or the transmission. Same buttons right here, so this is all easy for the climate. I do like the dial right here for fan speed rather than the buttons. I think that's a nice touch. And then I do like the screen better. I think it's a little bit easier. I'm very familiar with this. I just think there's more in it without being overly complicated. So driving them, honestly, man, it is a toss-up. They are almost the same cars. They're as different as night and later that night almost. They're very similar overall. It's just gonna really come down to a few slight things that are all trade-offs. Where this shines, you know, the RAV4 might have a weak spot, but where that might have a shining spot, this might have a weak spot. So little things here and there I'm noticing that are just slightly different between the two. Still got good visibility in here. I mean, lots of glass. These are so similar. That is gonna be a toss-up. I'm gonna have to think about it for a little bit, come up with my conclusion and see which one is the one for you. All right, so after driving in the Honda CR-V alongside the Toyota RAV4, both as tested, $38,000, ending thoughts, literally these are almost the exact same car. I do like the front seat position of the seating better in the Honda. I feel like I can just fit a little better. However, the seats are a little bit stiffer. So I like the padding in the Toyota. It's a bit more comfortable of a seat. I really like the power and the smooth power delivery you're gonna find in the Honda due to the turbocharged engine. However, I like having an 8-speed better. I think that is well-rounded for all the way up to highway speed acceleration. So CVT, not exactly my favorite. For the back seats, I do like how the Toyota seems to have a better seating position in the back. However, the Honda has more maneuverability. And then while the Honda has more cargo space, the Toyota's is nice and flat for the whole load floor and seats. So it is truly a toss-up. Exterior styling, they both look good. I think the Honda's a little bit more sophisticated looking, while the Toyota is maybe a bit more sporty looking. I think if I really had to buy one of them, I might lean towards the Honda only because the seating position feels more comfortable and the turbo power is a little better. The naturally aspirated engine, you just kind of have to use it more. I like down low torque in a turbo, but we are honestly splitting hairs with the differences. It is almost a 50-50. I don't think there is a clear winner. They both are almost the same vehicle. They both same price points, lots of great trim levels. There's hybrids available, front wheel drive, all wheel drive, and a lot of cool different colors and combinations. So really it's gonna come down to you guys who are looking to buy one of these. I think these are two of the best crossovers for sub 40 grand, and I don't think you will complain with either one. It's really gonna just come down to which one are you more comfortable sitting in, which one are you more interested in using the tech. I do like the screen on the Honda a bit better. But nonetheless, nearly 50-50. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content. And then a big shout out to Flow Honda and Flow Toyota of Statesville for providing these cars for today's video. Share their links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.